I am here in what looks like it's supposed to be the main town square of Łódź. And it's pretty hideous and under construction. It's actually giving me vibes similar to those in Bytom, our last adventure, if you remember. But, as we saw in Poland, not everything can be perfect. You gotta rebuild the city. Today, we are gonna figure out what brought this city up and what tore it down. Smack in the middle of Poland lies the country's third largest city, the city of Łódź, or locally pronounced Łódź. Ask most Poles about Łódź, and they'll probably know little to nothing about the city. That's because there's really nothing to do there, besides study music and sit on the side of Piotrkowska Street with a bunch of Gen Z hipsters. But before World War II, Łódź was actually a great place to be. It was an industrial city, particularly known for its textile production. It was also the city of coexistence. Polish, Russian, German, and Jewish culture were all celebrated throughout Łódź for hundreds of years. And what I found interesting was that 33% of the city's population was Jewish. But after World War II and the genocide of Jews during the Holocaust, that is no longer the case. Fascinated by the Jewish history in this city, I decided to travel to Łódź to see if there's anything left behind. And what I found was pretty shocking. So I was taking a walk around Łódź, and I noticed that there's a restaurant here that's theme is Judaism. And there's all these old pictures and these little Jewish figures here. And all these antiques, Jewish memorabilia, and a picture of what looks like Jerusalem. Look at all these old Jewish figures representing the Jews that used to live here in Łódź. This is pretty cool.
We've got also a restaurant.
Yeah?
Yes, you can come with me.
Cool. What's your name?
Natalia.
Natalia. Natalia's gonna show me the restaurant here that has a Jewish theme in Łódź. How long has this restaurant existed?
Anatevka, it's about 22 or 3 years, I don't remember. But here we are, it's about 1 month because we moved from another street.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
Wow. And this is where people sit when they come eat?
Yes. You can show that.
The chandelier. It almost feels like you're in a traditional Jewish home. Going back in time here in Łódź. Wow. They have all the photographs on the wall of the rabbis. I wonder if these were specific people from Łódź at the time. They have tons of photographs of all these Jews from back in the day. Wow. Interesting. Who are the owners of this place?
Paweł Zyner. Paweł Zyner.
Is he Jewish?
No.
No. Do you know the story of how it started?
He wants to show his friends real Jewish cuisine, Polish hospitality, and in Łódź we don't have any Jewish restaurant with Jewish food because this restaurant is a mix of 4 different culture. There is not only Jewish food, there is Polish food or mixed together. We've got beef tongue, we've got veal brain.
Oh wow!
Yes,
wow.
Kidneys.
Wow.
Yes, this is a typical Jewish. But we've got also the duck and the chorba. This is blood soup. This is typical Polish.
Okay, so it's a mix of everything.
Yes, yes.
That's awesome. Cool.
May I show you the pub if you'd like?
Oh, sure. There's a pub too?
Yes, this is really big restaurant now.
Wow, I think we've made it to...
A lot of space here.
Wow, I think we made it to one of the most popular restaurants in Łódź that happens to have a Jewish theme. The traditions live on.
here we've got pub.
Wow. This place is crazy. It never ends.
Yes, I'm sorry for the mess, but
No problem.
And fixing things now.
It looks like it's coming along great. They have the menorah here. A great selection of alcohol. Is the bar open? It's not open, right?
It's open. We can make you something if you like.
Yeah?
Yes.
How about a little shot of vodka?
Maybe Slivovitz then.
Slivovitz?
Yes.
What's that?
This is typical Jewish Strickholber, 30%. Not too strong for the.
Slivovitz.
Yes.
I'm ashamed that I never even had this, or I never even heard of this.
So you must try one. And this one is.
I'm getting a behind the bar treatment here.
And this one is from me, so
Wow, really?
yes.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy.
You know what to say?
Cheers. Na
Cheers.
zdrowie.
Na zdrowie.
Na zdrowie.
You know what it is in Hebrew?
No.
Lechaim.
O proszę.
To life. Wow.
It was good?
Yeah. I'm not a vodka person, but yeah, that was. Is that the popular one here?
Yes. Slivovitz.
Amazing. I might have to come back later for another one.
For another leg. In Poland we say 2 shots for one and the another leg. So we are drinking always 2.
We're always drinking.
And we've got upstairs here.
There's more to the bar, guys.
This room is a little bit funny, but also
Wow. This is the last thing I expected in the restaurant.
yes. This room is really funny. And
It is funny. They have
Yes.
a Jesus room in the Jewish restaurant. Wow. With all the baby angels. Okay.
And from here, you can see all the garden and
Beautiful Łódź.
it's also nice table here.
This restaurant is massive. I think I'm going to have to do a separate video just on this restaurant. But it's amazing to see that the Jewish culture here lives on. I guess it inspired someone to open this massive restaurant and actually combine, now that I think of it, what Łódź was known for is also the gathering of the Jews and the Christians and Germans, Russians, Poles.
Yes, 4 different cultures.
4 different cultures. So I guess this restaurant is just a remnant of that, of the coexistence and everything happening together on the menu and in the decor here at the restaurant. And thank you so much for that shot of vodka.
You're
I
welcome.
didn't expect that. You did not need to do that.
I'm sorry, I need to take the call.
Take the call.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'll continue my tour. Wow. And here they have the Anatevka Chassid, the old Jewish man where you can put your face and take a picture. What a place. What a place, guys. What's this? Do we have any local guides here to explain what this is?
Oh, okay. Hello. I'm not a guide, but I know.
You know.
So these 3 men are used to be some of the richest men in Poland.
Wow.
They made our cotton industry like such a big thing that they were like amazingly rich. Like, have you seen Manufaktura?
I'm gonna go see it, hopefully. Is that the
Yeah,
place to see in
so,
Łódź?
Right next to Manufaktura, there's like an amazingly big palace, right?
Yeah.
This palace belongs to this man right here. He was the giant of the cotton industry, and Manufaktura used to be a factory in which it was like his factory.
What was his name?
So his name was. You have it right. You have it here. It's Izrael Kalmanowicz Poznański.
Israel Kalmanowicz Poznański.
Yeah, that was his name.
And he was the guy who started the cotton industry here.
Yeah, the Manufaktura.
Wow.
So like most of them were Jewish also. Like Jews used to be like very rich in Łódź.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know a lot about the Jewish history here in Łódź?
Oh yeah, like I mean, Łódź used to be like one of the biggest ghettos used to be in Łódź. So yeah.
Yeah. And what remains now? Do you know?
I mean, I don't really know like right now. Where are you from?
I'm from the U.S.
From the US. Yeah, I heard this
my
accent,
God,
but
that's
I
a dream, like,
from what
what
was it
part?
right in Manchester?
Florida.
Oh wow, Florida. Like,
Yeah.
That's the vacation spot, right?
Yeah, but I got to live in the vacation spot.
Yeah.
You know?
Like that's the dream, I think. Yeah.
Maybe by the end of this video, Łódź will be the dream.
It's a city of contrast actually. It's
Yeah.
like
I'm talking.
from hate to love.
I'm on Ogrodova Street, which is the famous cotton street where Israel Poznański built up his empire. You see, after he inherited his father's business, he slowly built his way up to building this amazing, huge factory, the Manufactura. And across the street is where he had all of his employees, all of the workers living. There's several blocks here of these brick buildings where the employees lived so they wouldn't be late to work. And you can imagine, this is where it all started. This is where Łódź went from being a little nothing to a textile hub, an industrial hub, a big moneymaker for Poland. Next to the great cotton factory built by Israel Poznański lies his former palace. This is where he used to live. And look how massive it is. But in 1939, when the Nazis invaded Poland, they turned his palace into their headquarters. And they caused terror from this point on. This part that you see right here is the start of the northern part of the city. It used to be a bustling, busy Jewish district. There were businesses, there was happiness, there was life. But then terror fell upon the city of Łódź. And it's very good that we had that shot of vodka earlier, because now we're getting into the harder part of the video. Join me as I walk through what was once the Jewish ghetto of Łódź. Immediately after the Nazis occupied Łódź, they established the Jewish ghetto. It was notorious for its extremely harsh working conditions, as well as the starvation of its inhabitants. The establishment of the Łódź ghetto was just a temporary measure, and the first step of what the Nazis really wanted to accomplish: to cleanse the city of Jews. Right behind me here in the middle of the park is another remnant of the Jewish history here in Łódź. This is a monument that was erected in 1995, and it's Moses holding the 10 Commandments. And the reason why they put it right here is because this is where the main synagogue was, in Łódź. And in 1939, before they closed off the ghetto from the rest of the city, the Nazis completely destroyed the synagogue. I guess the city of Łódź put up this monument to show respect for the synagogue and the Jewish people who once lived here. After the park begins the residential neighborhoods of the northern part of the city, which was once the Łódź ghetto. I'm here right now, behind a residential building and next to a bunch of dumpsters, all to show you one thing. There's a little piece of street art up there, and I don't know if you can see it clearly, but it's a little Jewish boy, a young Jewish boy, hard at work. And it's to symbolize and show what differentiated the Łódź ghetto from the rest of the ghettos in Poland at the time. You see, the Łódź ghetto, led by Mr. Chaim Rumkowski, the Judenrat, the head of the ghetto, who was appointed by the Nazis, made sure that the ghetto would stay hard at work and bring great results to the Germans. And that way, the ghetto wouldn't be destroyed and lives would be spared. If you come down to the neighborhood of where the old Łódź ghetto used to be, you'll notice a lot of new construction alongside old buildings like this, where surely nobody is living at the moment. And it's understandable why they're not living here, because who would want to live in a building where once so much suffering happened? Holy shit, guys, wandering around this neighborhood, you just come across things that you don't expect. Even this little structure that looks like it's nothing happened to be a shelter and a hospital for people with contagious diseases during the times of the ghetto in 1942. inhabitants of the ghetto were treated here throughout the years that they lived here. It's crazy to think that this neighborhood just still has these things. So I came around the other end of the structure and you can see, wow, that scared me. There's all these little compartments, look like storage compartments. It could have very well have been where they actually treated people, or maybe even laid them to rest when it was too late. Anyways, the Łódź ghetto was known for the starvation and all the suffering and the lack of sanitary conditions. It was very gross living here. They didn't have proper sewage, clean water. They didn't have enough food. So you can imagine the diseases that were moving around quickly in this tight living space. Over 200,000 people lived in this small area of Łódź. Look at what I found in the middle of the ghetto. It's a manual water pump. I wonder what they use it for. One of the responsibilities that Mr. Chaim Rumkowski had as the head of the ghetto was to satisfy the demands of the Nazis. He was to prepare the deportation lists, which basically chose who would leave the ghetto to the extermination camps, who would be sent off and never ever come back. And it was a very tough task for Mr. Rumkowski. And over time, once the Nazis realized that he was hesitating or maybe choosing the people that they didn't want him to choose, they took over and eventually sent off almost every lasting member of the ghetto to an extermination camp. And we're here at the end of the ghetto where it all happened. Here you can see all the names of different cities around Europe where people were brought into the ghetto. They weren't from Łódź, but they were brought over as part of the 210,000, 230,000 that lived here over time. You can see that all of a sudden the lights start turning on. And if you want to stop and have a look at what there is on the wall, it'll light up. And you can see all these deportation lists that were prepared with the names of the people who were to be sent off. Here, this wall points to the start of the ghetto, the start of the German occupation here in Poland. And you can see here exactly what we spoke about. More than 233,000 Jews live in Łódź during the first months of the German occupation. Now we're approaching the train carts that were used to take them to the extermination camps. Here are the train carts that were used to deport the inhabitants of the ghetto out to the extermination camps. They spent days on end in there, packed like sardines, only wondering where they were going, what was going to happen to them. This all happened right here. It's another day here in Łódź, and initially when I was gonna make this video, I actually expected there to be 0 Jews left in Łódź. But when I got here, I stumbled upon a community, a small community. It's still running till this day. And here I am, the only Jewish community in Łódź, the only community left.
היה פה אחרי מלחמה, מיד אחרי מלחמה, זה היה פה מרכז יהודי באמת, כי ורשה הייתה נהרסת, ואז יהודים עברו לכאן, כן? אז חיו פה בערך 20,000 יהודים אחרי מלחמה, אבל, אתה יודע, אירועים אנטישמיים, שנות 50, 68, אז רובם עזבו. זה בערך 130 אנשים נרשמים לקהילה, אף על פי שאנשים יהודים ויהודים על פי הלכה בלודג' בטוח שיש יותר.
היום יש בעיות של אנטישמיות בימים האלה עכשיו בלודג' או
אני מניסיוני לא פגשתי את זה, גם ברוך השם הם לא פגשו אותי. אבל אתה יודע, אני בדרך כלל חי בסביבה אנשים שמעוניינים ביהדות, שרוצים לדעת, אז אני פוגש תופעה אחרת לגמרי.
You were born in Łódź?
That's right. I'm Latpo, I'm from Łódź, I'm Lodzerit, I'm coming from the Skakila. I raised as a child in society. I remember the congregation before this congregation, like from Zachodnia 78. It was just me and couple old guys, you know.
Were those old guys from after the war? Did they stay here after the war?
That's right. They coming from the war, you know. That was one of the points when Jews could find out themselves. They can somehow to try to puzzle the old past and family, to find family here. And I remember there were just me and old people in dining room. We were eating some not nice food there. It wasn't sometimes fresh. I don't know, maybe these people isn't filler or something. I don't know. It was bad.
And now do you feel an improvement with the Jewish community in Łódź?
I think this period it's some kind of new possibility, new changes for this society, because we had Ukrainian Jews, so we have a regular minyan here now.
Right.
The pandemic time hit, you know,
Yeah.
everyone.
Here in the Jewish community, everyone is provided with 3 meals a day. And on today's menu, we have barley, mushrooms, and a bunch of salads. We even got some homemade bread that's baked here. And the thing with the food here is that it has to be kosher, since it's a Jewish community. And kosher meat is not the easiest thing to find, so they don't have meat at every meal, maybe once a day. But anyways, to be able to come here and have a free meal 3 times a day, it's pretty damn good. You can see here that all the writing is also in Hebrew, Polish, and Ukrainian, because of all the refugees from Ukraine that they've been housing here ever since the whole situation over there.
This community is like somehow, maybe it's the big word, but I think it's reborning now.
So one of the community members, Boris, a local Pole and a Jew, is going to give us a little tour of the cemetery here, because he works here every day. So we're going to go see what there is to see, at least whatever part we can, because it's ginormous. What is that white writing?
It's this is because every single grave here have its own address. Okay.
Right.
It's 200, almost 200,000 graves. Let's say we don't never count, but it's about that. And basically, you can manage to go wherever grave you want. But if you have address, it's like address.
Do they have like a GPS?
No, we're working on it.
Is that what you're working on here in the cemetery?
Yes, yeah. In the 40s, in the very beginning of the 40s, because there was not enough spaces to bury people there. So they made this place.
Right here?
Oh, it's everything what you see.
Wow.
It's about 50,000 people buried here.
Wow.
You see it in the small plaques?
Here you can see these little plaques.
Yeah, the plaques are not placed in, I don't think that they are in the same place. Now that's why we have to work on it.
You see all the Jewish names here. Hadass Goldkorn, Razel Perlman,
Those are the people who are perished during the Holocaust time.
Frida Dobrojenska.
Dobrzyńska.
These are the people who were killed in the Holocaust.
Yes. I mean, not everybody.
Not everybody, of course.
Only those who died here on the street of Łódź,
In the ghetto.
in the ghetto. Yeah. Because the people who were going, outside of Łódź to Auschwitz, Treblinka, Majdanek,
Right,
and the other
nobody.
stuff, they were going
Yeah.
evaporated, as I said
Yes.
before. But basically, Baruch Hashem, very many people haven't been evaporated. I know even from this side, I know many mishpachos, the families.
Yeah.
There is, I can show you all. Two graves I remember doing. So that's it will be pure. Oh, you can show. It looks like nothing, just a stone. But the people didn't have how to put something on a grave site. So the people from the ghetto were brought it here.
Wow.
So this is the exact grave of somebody. So
That's crazy. During the times of the war, they didn't have a proper tombstone.
That's what I'm.
So they literally just placed the rock.
Yeah.
Wow.
Literally rock. I mean.
And that's how the burials were. They
Yeah,
buried and they
also,
placed the rock.
Oh, maybe it's maybe too much for now, but somewhere over there's at least two bed frames, metal bed frames.
Really?
So they were putting bed frames, doors, all kinds of stuff.
I'm sorry to say also, and I don't want to make it sad,
Yeah.
but I remember about the people which are not alive anymore and they are not coming from, and that I knew them very personally. They were in my house, So you see changes giving you so positive, energy and some kind of enjoyment, and you see it that it's progressing. And I think in these few years many positive things happens on plus to this congregation, I guess.
Yeah.
So maybe it is the hope.
So you think that Jews have a future in Łódź?
I think yes, because of the migration of Ukrainian Jews. I think the community have a chance to reborn. And I hope, and I see also that local people get more activated to promote Jewish culture in many ways. So yeah, it is the life here. What can I say?